On day 8 of our Westward Ho adventure, we made the 5-mile drive from Moab to the entrance of Arches National Park early in the day, just before 7 o'clock. Very uneventful drive between Moab and the park. The entrance road was pretty clear, not much traffic at that time of the day. We pulled up to the ticketing and entrance station where there was no wait for us to proceed on up to the visitor center. After a short drive from the check-in point, which went quickly for us because we were at a 7 o'clock start time, which is when they open up, we drove to the parking lot of the visitor center, made a quick stop here and took a look at a lot of the things they have posted, information about your tour. And now we're about ready to start driving up to see the sights, and the crowd is already starting to gather. One of the keys of this park is to get here early because it fills up quickly and there can be as much as an hour wait at the entrance. Arches National Park is a timed entry park, and you need to have a ticket and a time reserved to enter the park. The best way to do that is just simply go to the Arches National Park website, look it up, and make your reservation. Get your tickets online and you are set to go. We've made a stop at the restroom and eaten our breakfast sandwiches we had to buy at the gas station because our hotel, the dining area where they were supposed to have breakfast, was like a ghost town and there wasn't even any coffee. So we grabbed that, had a quick bite, and we're about ready to head out up the trail. We are on our way to see the sights in the park. The parking lot is starting to get packed and people are jumping out of buses and ready to run over you. So we want to get ahead of the pack and start looking at the sights. Our plan is to catch them early. If you try to catch them on the way back, they're going to be even more crowded. That's one of the things noted about this park, is it is terribly, terribly busy. Here we go. Looks like we'll be doing a lot of switchback driving up in here too, just like at Mesa Verde. Big difference here is there's a lot less vegetation. Well, you can rip through here about 65 miles an hour if you had a Corvette. We are now at the Park Avenue Viewpoint and Trailhead, the first stop on the route, and it is 7:30 in the morning, and already there are only a couple of parking spots left here. It's about a mile walk on this trailhead, and we're going to take a look and see what they have here. And already the traffic is pretty busy on the road going by. You notice we have jackets on. It's a little bit cool yet this time of the day out in the desert. So far, the trail doesn't look very rugged. We'll find out. Looks like a lot of good signage along the way to tell you what you're looking at. And right next to this sign that says, "Stay on the trails, your steps matter," only a few feet away are footprints of people who apparently cannot read. First stop at the viewpoint with a sign explaining what you're looking at. Gorgeous view.
Yeah, sure. Here. thanks.
Turn around.
I did. Yeah. Here, let's get back. Maybe you can get like the canyon there. Thing. Well done.
Well, it ends at the road.
Okay.
And then you can walk back.
The trail appears to get pretty rugged beyond this point. And here's a look back at the observation point now that we're partway down the trail. The trail is pretty smooth for the most part, but once in a while you run into a little obstacle you have to negotiate. Then there's a big drop down into the lower valley, and we want to see what's around the bend. The stratification layers are fascinating. It's interesting to look at and think about how much time it took to get enough compression to turn this into rock to make all those layers, and then all the time it took to erode this away. And we think in the United States 100 years is a long time. We're just about to the bend in the road. We'll see what's on the other side. Look at this crawly thing. A desert crawly thing. Desert flowers.
Come on in, Heidi.
And here's what's on the other side. And we found water. I imagine when it rains and the water comes down off from above, it really rips through here. You can tell by the erosion. And at the end of the canyon, it opens up here. And you can see the highway on the other side. And if you continue down this trail all the way down to where those cars are parked, that's another parking lot. And then you can take the trail from there up to where we just came from. But we're going to head back to the vehicle. And it's safe to say these steps are not the code. And right by this sign talking about the lack of good soil here and how long it takes to make it, more footsteps in the sand off the trail. 8 miles further up the road, we arrived at the Balanced Rock Trail. Another interesting place to see. And along the trail there were a lot of wonderful sights like the petrified dunes to look at. Here is the walking trail at Balanced Rock. Once at Balanced Rock, there's a nice trail of steps coming up to an observation area, and you can walk around and get a close look. And from here you get a really great view of some of the open areas in the park and the mountains off in the distance. And behind me is the view from the Garden of Eden pull-off. These pull-offs are easily accessible and you can see a lot of the territory. Before we continue with the next and final section of this part 1 of day 8 of our Westward Ho adventure video series, our visit to Arches National Park. I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching this video up to this point. And if you've been watching the other videos, thank you for watching those. And if you have been enjoying this video and the others, well, then I ask that you click like and consider subscribing to our channel. As we release more of the videos of our 25-day Westward Ho adventure, you'll be sure to get notified that they've been released and you can give them a look. And as we continue with this video of part 1, we'll finish up with the Windows Trail section of Arches, but there's a lot more to see in part 2 because it's a big park with a lot of hiking and a lot of fantastic sights. Come along with me as we continue with the next section, the Windows Trail. So behind me is a sign for the Double Arch Trail at the Windows Arch pull-off. There are 2 pull-off areas here, 2 parking lots at this pull-off area, upper and lower, and both are jam-packed full at about 9:45 in the morning. The views here are just beautiful, and we're going to walk the trail. There are great signs along the way, like this one that explains how these arches are created over time, step by step. So we'll go take a closer look. And here we see some ancient corrugated plastic drain pipe. We're both people that like to strike out on our own to investigate new places. It's fun to just take your time and look at all this stuff. I can't imagine being in one of the large tour groups, running through here in a large group, trying to listen to a tour guide. It'd be awful hard to catch everything. We arrived at the arch to find a lot of people were climbing up into the arch to get a view through the other side. So I decided, why not go up there myself and get a closer look and take a look back at Linda.
Go down that way, huh?
10 after 10, and it is a steady stream of vehicles. In the lower parking lot, you have these stairs leading to the upper lot and the upper trail. And from our way of thinking, we're probably better off this way because exert the effort now and be easier coming back. Ahead of me now is the upper section of the Windows Trail pull-off area, and this upper section is the first place to stop, and it is jam-packed. Cars in line waiting to get through to go to the lower section, hoping to find a parking spot down there. The restroom facilities are larger here. They're twice what they are down in the lower lot, but about the same setup. Standing by this sign, Heat Kills, reminds me that I've spent enough time in the mountains. I should have known better than to wear jeans today. May have been cold enough for a jacket this morning, but it wasn't long, and I wish I had my shorts on. Just a little tip, don't be fooled by the cold at night up here. We took a walk first up to the turret arch. Looked like a pretty decent trail to walk. And as we got closer to the top by the arch, we ran into a wonderful couple from England. We had a great conversation with them. We ran into all kinds of great folks while we were out hiking in different parts on our trip. I had a couple opportunities to practice both my French and my German. We headed back down the trail to the north and south arches, and I decided to take the primitive trail to the south arch and around the backside back to the parking lot, which was a very interesting walk to take. Started out fairly smooth, and a few other people were headed that direction as well. As I made my way around the arch, I met folks that were coming from the other direction to take that primitive trail. There's a nice view of one of the arches coming around the back side and looking over to the trail ahead. Stones are laid out to make sure you stay on the trail because it's oftentimes just flat rock and no other marking, and following the other folks as they made their way. And if you take the rustic trail, you get another great view from the backside. So if you are feeling adventurous, you can do a little rugged terrain walking. This is typical of the primitive trail. It's been a long walk, a lot of rocks to climb. And coming out of the primitive trail, you come back to the main upper parking area. So after I got to the parking lot, I had to double back and make this walk back up to this arch.
That's from the way.
Okay.
And way up at the top of the arch, a pool of water. And from the arch, I look down at the primitive trail that I just walked on. And that's all for part 1 of day 8, a visit to Arches National Park. Part 2, we start out with a visit to the Wolfe Ranch, cabin and the delicate arch. Thank you once again for watching part 1 of day 8 of our Westward Ho adventure, our visit to Arches National Park. Please click like if you enjoyed the video and consider subscribing. Come back next time for part 2 of day 8 to see what we encounter on our tour that day. If you're using these videos to help you plan some of your own travel adventures, we hope that this gives you some really good information to use and some good tips that you can take with you on your trip. Until next time, enjoy your travels and take care.